Serving the internet.
Apple drops a flop and pulls the ad. Have we lost our advertising senses? Smarter technology equals dumber humans. Plus 5 essentials for every welcome email. It's Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Let's nerd out.
Nerds Podcast.
The Ad Nerds Podcast delivers ad industry news weekdays. We are the go-to source for people who spend money on advertising, covering big brands, small businesses, and the latest marketing trends. It's me, Spanky Moskowitz, the show's host, and a nearly 40-year veteran of the ad industry. I've made ads for Chevrolet, Budweiser, M&M's, Frito-Lay, the NFL, and NBA. I've created over 100,000 ads, generating hundreds of billions in client revenue. If you're in or interested in the world of advertising and want to stay up to date with the latest news, the Ad Nerds Podcast is the perfect place to start. Breaking news starts us off today. The big news coming out of the TV world. Netflix lands live NFL games on Christmas and shocks the TV world today. In a move that's sending shockwaves right now as I speak through the TV world, Netflix has locked up a deal to broadcast live NFL games on Christmas. The 3-year agreement places the streaming giant into the heart of live sports, now positioning it as a major player in the competitive TV upfront market. Now, this move by Netflix builds on their recent ventures into football content, following the launch of the hit series Quarterback in 2023 and the upcoming Receiver series. This is another nail in the coffin of traditional TV networks.
Ad Nerds Podcast.
Now on to our first story. Apple, I've never seen this happen in all the years I've been following them as a brand. Apple's first ad flop is in a very, very long time. Like I said, I can't tell you the last time I saw one. The now dead TV ad starts off, and I've got a link to it, of course. You can just check out the show notes. Starts off with a giant, in a room with a giant crusher. And underneath this crusher, this like car pulverizer, are all these creative tools, a metronome, a turntable, a piano, everything that you creatives would use, paint and color, and right? It's there to show you all of the creative magic that happens and that can happen. And as the ad continues, the crusher proceeds to demolish everything in its path while this really retro Sonny and Cher song play from the 70s. And you'll have to Google them, okay, if you don't know who they are. And so as the music plays, all of these creative tools and artwork and instruments get pulverized. And at the final moment, this little emoji's eyes get squished out of its head, pop, the paint cans all explode, and now it lifts to reveal the one tool that all creatives should use, iPad. Well, the ad really upset people because, you know, sometimes you have a good creative idea, but it's not received well from the receivers. And the consumers of the world did not like this ad. It felt destructive. It felt very un-Apple. Anyway, the spot titled Crush, Apple has now apologized for the spot and said it didn't mean to offend its creative audience. You have to realize this isn't Apple's first DNA. This isn't in Apple's DNA to screw up an ad, right? I lost my train of thought. Okay, it happens. This is the company that's famous for the 1984 ad, Get a Mac, Think Different, and let's not forget the Shot on iPhone series, which became a series of product demo ads shot by fans. This ad was not a typical Apple ad, and their VP of marketing told Ad Age, quote, "Creativity is in our DNA at Apple, and it's incredibly important to us to design products that empower creatives all over the world." He went on to say, "Our goal is to always celebrate the myriad of ways users express themselves and bring their ideas to life through iPad. We missed the mark in this video, with this video, and we're sorry," end quote. The ad rolled out on Apple's YouTube channel and on Tim Cook's X account ahead of their paid run But those TV plans are now, like the ad, crushed.
The most nerdy. It's time for an ad. Nerds Podcast.
Actually, it's not time for an ad yet, okay? I hit that early. I was working on a campaign for a nationally known cookie company when it struck me. We've lost our senses when it comes to advertising today. You know, so many ads talk about the flavor of the week or the leather-wrapped steering wheel, but they stop short of giving me a feeling. You know, our senses are so powerful, yet today in advertising, we are missing the mark. Sure, you could hit a couple of them with a great TV ad, right? Sight and sound. But how can we communicate smell, taste, touch? It seems like we've lost our ability to use descriptive words that paint a picture, a taste, a smell in advertising. If you're in the business and you don't feel your advertising, it might be time for you to tap into your senses again. We all know what a champagne cork sounds like, right? It's a universal sound. And what a hot, fresh, gooey chocolate chip cookie smells like. But how does a new car taste? How does it feel as you caress each surface? Sensory advertising is possible, but you have to ask better questions to get a better sense of what moves people. Coming up, if you have a direct-to-consumer or DTC brand, you might be seeing your customer acquisition costs rising. You also might be looking to Amazon to solve your problems. But is that the right move for you?
The most nerdy. It's time for an ad. Nerds Podcast.
When I was a kid, I wished for a superpower. I think we all did. Some of us wanted to fly, others wished for X-ray vision, and then there were the kids who wished for invisibility. Yes, the greatest superpower of them all was the ability to be invisible. That is until you started your business. In branding, advertising, and marketing, visibility is everything. If you're ready to be seen, make an impact on the world, and grow your bottom line, it's time for a new superpower: Ad Nerds. When you work with Ad Nerds, you're tapping into decades of Madison Avenue experience and over $200 billion in generated client revenue. Go from invisible to invincible with Ad Nerds. It's easy to start at adnerds.com/start. That's adnerds.com/start. Ad Nerds, big brand advertising for your scrappy small business. Direct-to-consumer DTC brands are discovering that their retail headaches might just be solved by turning to their once enemy, Amazon. Yes, not too long ago, these brands prided themselves on running their own e-commerce channels, skipping the everything store, as everybody calls it, to build direct relationships with their customers. But with venture capital now drying up and customer acquisition costs skyrocketing, lots of DTC brands are now cozying up to third-party distributors, including the big ones like Target and Walmart. But guess who's emerged as a retail hero? Yes, Amazon. Brands like Allbirds, Curology, Apothecary, they've all jumped onto the Amazon bandwagon. And it's not just to boost their brand awareness, but to earn serious street cred with physical retail chains. Smaller brands like yours can do the exact same thing. Remember, Apple's data privacy changes in 2021, they threw us a curveball in tracking user data and campaigns on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Enter Amazon, a less competitive, cost-efficient, and absolute massive marketplace. With Amazon's huge reach and marketing tools, DTC brands are seeing huge upticks in their visibility and new customer engagement. Now, of course, the Amazon adventure isn't all smooth sailing. If you're a small business, you're going to face challenges like lower repeat purchase rates, thinner margins compared to your own channels. Plus, Amazon owns the sales data. But despite these hurdles, having a solid presence on Amazon can work wonders for your DTC brand's credibility. It's akin to having a Macy's Fifth Avenue, right? It's having that flagship retail location, showing the world that you've made it. So if you're a DTC brand and you're looking to level up, Amazon might just be your golden ticket.
Ad Nerds Podcast.
Our love affair with technology isn't our fault. Well, I shouldn't say it isn't. It's not entirely our fault. Humans are naturally curious beings, right? We're wired to push boundaries, to test the limits, even if that means sticking screwdrivers into electrical outlets. By the way, don't try that at home, okay? Technology feeds this curiosity, and we dive right in. But with each tech leap we make, our critical thinking is taking a hit. Let me back you up a little bit. I've had the businessman gene since I was a kid during the 1970s gas crisis. Over the years, I've built and sold and even burned out on businesses. One of those burnouts came from a business that was making me $300K a year, but I walked away from it. Now, technology helped me work more, not less, burn out faster, and eventually hang up the big F it sign, right? So how did technology contribute to this burnout instead of making life easier? Because that's what its promise was, right? Oh, technology is going to make everything better. Right. Buckle up. We're going to take a quick jump through time. April 2024. I'm recovering from my third cancer surgery, zoning out to a playlist ironically called Ken's Strange Mix. And Paul Simon's Kodachrome plays, which takes me back to my photography days. Now we're going to jump back, 1934. For the younger crowd, Kodachrome was this ancient thing called film. You had 12, 24, or 48 shots per roll and no screen to preview them on. You made every shot count. Then came digital photography. Lifts the shot limit immediately, right? Because we don't have those restrictions. Hello, endless photos. Goodbye, critical decision making. 2005. Digital photography promised freedom from the limitations of film. But now, instead of 200 photos, you're sorting through 2,000. And then apps like Lightroom tried to help, but come on, it's still a massive headache, right? 10 times the number of images. Now let's go to today. As digital took over, knowing how to use a camera properly became secondary. Shutter speeds and f-stops? What? Those are hipster buzzwords now. Now it's just about pointing and shooting. November 2022, enter AI. I was a beta tester for ChatGPT and immediately saw its potential. It was both exciting and overwhelming. The tech, which was once feared, was now being embraced like free wine at an Italian restaurant. A couple of months later, January 2023, I get my first Dear John letter from a client praising AI for doing a, quote, pretty good job, end quote. Ouch. A couple of months later, March 2023, I'm chatting with Gary Vee in New York City. We'd lost at that point 20% of our revenue to AI enthusiastic clients. Gary had some ideas about how to regain that market share and momentum, and I still believed in AI's potential. A couple of months later, May of 2023, my life gets put on hold with stage 3 rectal cancer. By the way, at that point, AI still couldn't match my humor. Fast forward a year later, still can't. Sucks. December 2023. While AI chewed through my business, I got an email from a client, truly heartfelt email. He realized that AI's, quote, pretty good job, end quote, wasn't enough, and that human creativity was irreplaceable. Now, today. Not all tech makes life easier. You know, streaming over cable promised massive savings, but now, if you look at it, we pay more for multiple services. Smartphones made us Google dependent, killing our critical thinking. Schools' tech investments often deepen the digital divide. It's time for us to reclaim our critical thinking crown. Smarter technology equals dumber humans isn't inevitable. It just takes stepping back, analyzing, and not letting shiny objects blind us. Because while 480 photos might seem better than 48, it's the quality and thought behind them that truly count. And remember, if you let AI do your thinking, I'll be here thinking critically about you. Coming up, you've got a new email subscriber. Congratulations. So how do you write the perfect welcome sequence? I'll tell you the 5 essentials for every welcome email next.
The most nerdy. It's time for an ad Nerds Podcast.
When brands struggle to get their message right, I'm the guy that gets the call. When small businesses struggle to get their message right, who answers the phone for them? Hey, it's Spanky, and I have been in the ad game for decades, working with some of the world's biggest brands, sports teams, and businesses. Wouldn't it be great if you had access to a world-class Fortune 500 creative director on demand? Now you can. BAM is my way of helping your small business compete with big brands on your budget. With BAM, you've got your own help hotline to a Fortune 500 creative director anytime you need it. Learn more about BAM. Go to bamismyjam.com. That's bamismyjam.com. BAM. Branding, advertising, and marketing just got a whole lot easier for small businesses like yours. The place to start? bamismyjam.com.
Nerds Podcast.
Nerds Podcast.
If you have an email list, you probably know how important it is to engage with your audience and not annoy the crap out of them. Because we know at the end of the day, emailing them too much annoys them. Emailing them stuff that they don't want annoys them, and then they opt out. It all starts at the sign up and crafting the ultimate welcome sequence for your new followers, subscribers. And I'm going to give you 5 essentials for every welcome email. And these aren't just a polite wave to your new subscribers. These are the first handshake, the opening line of a date, a new conversation. And getting this right can help set the tone for the entire relationship. So let's break down a little bit how to make sure your welcome email hits all the right notes. Number 1, let's start with a warm personal greeting. Kick things off with a friendly personal greeting that really captures your brand vibe. Think of it like that virtual handshake or hug. And yes, if you have their name, use it. It's all about the personal touch. Hey, John, welcome to our cow lovers community. We're moved you're here, right? Something like that. An introduction to your brand is next. That's number 2. This is where you let them know who you are and what you're all about. Reinforce why they hit that subscribe button in the first place. At our brand, we're redefining sustainable living with our eco-friendly products that blend style with responsibility, right? Who are we? What do we do? Why do we do it? Again, reinforcing to them, this is exactly where they wanted to be. Number 3, let's talk about expectations. You want them to be clear from the start. Set the stage for what's coming. Tell them what they'll get from you and how often. Transparency builds trust right from the start. You can send out something that says, get ready for bi-weekly updates featuring our latest products, exclusive deals, and behind-the-scene stories. Next, a strong call to action. Guide your new subscribers on what to do next, whether it's follow you on social, checking out a top product, or learning more about your brand. Make the CTA or call to action clear and compelling. So, for example, you could say, join us on TikTok for our latest news and upcoming community events, right? You're giving them a platform, what they're going to get, and you're giving them a reason to join you in another space, right? Following you on social. That makes a ton of sense. Now, the fifth and final piece, a special welcome offer. Give them a little something to say thanks for signing up. Give them a discount, a freebie, or exclusive content they can turn in. They can turn a new subscriber into a customer. So, for example, here's a special treat. Sarah, enjoy 15% off your first order with Hello15 at checkout. Remember, every welcome email is your chance to start a great relationship. And with these 5 elements, you're going to make sure that it's a relationship that sticks. Hey, if you like the Ad Nerds podcast, please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Give it a 5-star rating and a great review. I'd sure appreciate it. That's the Ad Nerds podcast for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Spanky out! Thank you so much for listening.